Hey folks, Jim Thomas here, Fitness Management and Consulting. I appreciate being here at the channel today. And for you folks that are finding us for the first time, you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. I appreciate it. And then also, if you want to learn more about me and my company, please check out the links below for different ways you can grow and develop your business. Now, our topic for you today is the top 5 business mistakes of gym owners. Okay, top five business mistakes. And where this comes from, it's me talking to a lot of gym owners, and hey, what do you think was the biggest mistake that you made? You sit back, you look at it, and maybe they're having success right now, maybe they're not having the success they want, so it's kind of all shapes and sizes, but what were the big mistakes that you feel like you made? I want to give you a few of these, okay, and define, are some of these you? Are you going through this right now? Okay, and so these are in no particular order, but the number one mistake was starting too late. Okay, and in other words, hey, we're having success. I should have done this 5 years ago. I should have done this 3 years ago. I should have done this when I first started thinking about it. And well, why didn't you? Well, it was fear of failure. Lack of belief. I didn't have enough knowledge. I'll have some folks, they'll say, well, Jim, I didn't know that people like you actually existed that could help me with this, okay? We get some of that. But a lot of folks, one of the biggest mistakes they talk about, they started too late. They waited too long, okay? And again, what I mean by that is, hey, if I'd done it 2 years earlier, look how far ahead of the game I would have been, okay? So fear of failure, lack of belief, needing more knowledge. Second mistake that people commonly say is not asking for feedback. They just come in and here's how I'm going to do it. And they don't really get customer feedback. They don't really listen to customer feedback or employee feedback or any feedback. Here's how we are going to do this. And I would say that's a pretty common one. I see that one even as an ongoing, even once we kind of understand that, there's still a tendency to do that, okay? There's a tendency to think, well, maybe, you really don't know. Well, maybe you do. Maybe your customer does. So we want to listen to them. Number 3, this one, maybe if I was going to categorize these, I might make it number 1. I call it the shiny object syndrome, okay? And that's worrying about everything except for what's important. Okay? We're worrying about everything else, but we're not worrying about what is most important. The most common thing I see here on this is what's most important, it's sales and marketing. At the end of the day, it's sales and marketing. You can have the greatest staff, you can have the best facility, best location, but unless you're able to get people to walk in that front door, unless people know who you are, and unless you have the ability to convert them into customers, it simply will not matter. And we have a tendency to focus on that shiny object, everything else that's going on, and not focusing on what's most important, sales and marketing. And some of this, sometimes we're just afraid of sales and marketing, I think, and others, they don't really recognize the value of it. They think, well, hey, I've got this great facility. People are going to want to come in, but they need to know about you, okay? Number 4, this one wouldn't necessarily apply to everybody, but it does apply. It is a big issue, is scaling too big way too fast, growing way too big way too fast, okay? And so whether you're growing an existing location to a much bigger one or you're doing multiple locations, the thing that I would talk about on this, on growing too big, too fast, you can always find money. I know it seems like we can't sometimes, but you can always find money. You can always find locations. The key thing is the people. The answer to this, if you're trying to grow big and you want to do it quickly and do it right, it's all about the people. Do we have not only the staff in place, but do we have a way of developing more staff and then nurturing the existing staff that we have? But that other biggest mistake is growing too big too quick. And I know I've seen it. I've seen smaller groups that have done extremely well, and now they want to expand in their area. Okay, great, so far so good. They expand to that next area, then expand to that next area, and all of a sudden it comes toppling down. And I know for me, when I was expanding, I was up to 3 locations is all I was, and I could already see, I'm having some issues with personnel here. How do I handle this? And I went out and found those answers, okay? And then number 5, biggest mistakes is folks, they felt like they spent too much time trying to raise money. Okay, too much time trying to raise funds. And I would say this, for any business owner, I think you're always looking for funding. You're always looking for money. Okay, but again, this goes back to maybe our shiny object and being focused on what's most important. But yes, we always should be looking for money. Let's get a process in place for that. But when you spend too much time doing that, it takes away from something else. And if I could give a gym owner, a gym operator, a basic job description, it's A, pay your people on time as agreed. I think most do that, okay? And number two, make sure the door's swinging, the phone's ringing, the email's dinging, and the text is pinging. Make sure you're driving traffic into the front door. Those are the two biggest things. And I know there's a lot that goes on there, but those are the two biggest things. And so we don't want to spend too much time raising money and take away from that, but you do want to have a plan in place to do that. So this is from kind of my surveys and my talking to owners and kind of the feedback that I get of the mistakes that are made and things that they wish they would have done differently. And in many cases, they've shifted this and made these adjustments. But this will give you some things to think about when you think about your business. And hey, how can you avoid those mistakes if you're just starting out, or if you're struggling? Hey, are some of these part of what we're doing right now, and can we fix them? So folks, I appreciate you being here today. If you found the information that I provide beneficial, please hit that like button, and we look forward to seeing you all in that next video.